You call yourself a digital nomad, is that right?
That's correct.
How often are you roughly moving around?
It depends. I was 3 months in Bali and I was about to go to Australia, and then I don't need social media, but I want social
Yeah,
media.
that's right.
You know, do you want to know if it's a good idea? Of this business idea has potential as a business. It's very different.
Right,
It's
right.
very different. Something it's happening a lot more, especially with AI, which is our topic today. I
Mhm.
think we need to learn how to use it. I think we need to learn how not to abuse it. Learn yourself first and then delegate. Because at the end of the day, who's doing the selling is you.
We don't believe that AI can sweep people's jobs aside. G'day and welcome to the show. I'm your host, Pete Cooper, and our topic is AI, hype, or help. Today's guest is Anna Torres Walker. She's a social media mentor. She helps businesses and entrepreneurs with their social networks, making their social media effective and stress-free. Now, AI is coming along and it's changing the landscape for social media, but social media is very important for many businesses. So, this is a key topic to understand. And we're going to find out from Anna what she thinks about AI and social media. Let's get into it. Welcome, Anna. Welcome to the show. Thanks for joining
Thank
us
you.
today. And how are you doing today?
Thanks. Thank you for having me. I'm doing good. I'm doing great. I'm traveling a little bit, so it's always good.
Okay, so where are you at the moment?
I'm in Madrid at the moment. So, yeah, I've been traveling around Spain for the last month.
And I think you call yourself a digital nomad, is that right?
That's correct. That
And
is
what
correct.
and what's that like
That is
being a
the
digital nomad?
Well, it is actually, I've been a digital person for quite a long time, but I wasn't that nomad, and not at least as much as I wanted to be. So now that I am doing it, I love it. It's That was one of the main goals when I changed careers. I just wanted this to be able to work from everywhere or anywhere and travel as much as possible. So it's perfect for me. It's the best of two worlds,
Hmm.
traveling and working online from wherever I am.
Yeah, and so if you does that mean you're switching locations every day, every week, every month, every year? How often are you roughly moving around?
It depends. Like this month, it's been every week. And before that, I was 3 months in Bali and I was about to go to Australia. And then I had a fall and I had to go back home. It can be months, it can be weeks, it can be days. It all
Hmm.
depends.
Well, I interviewed somebody only a week or two ago who's also a digital nomad, and he was in Russia, and then he was back in the US, and he was also exploring that. And then I met some people on the weekend that were telling me that somebody tried to be a digital nomad and they were exhausted and they didn't want to do it anymore. So how long have you been doing it, Anna?
I would say it's been on and off for 2 years. No, 3 years. Almost 3 years on and off. So it's obviously not all the year. Sometimes it's 2 or 3 months of the year. Sometimes it's weeks. And the longest I've been so far is 3 months. That was when I was this year in Bali. But yeah, I mean, I've been traveling for years now, for 2 or 3 months, 5 months in a row,
Hmm.
and I love it. So I do have friends who are not digital nomads, but they do like traveling, and they find the same as you were saying. They get exhausted about from it, and I
Hmm.
don't. I just love it.
All right. Well, seems like it suits you. Well, I guess an important
It
aspect
does.
of that is how you sustain yourself and what is your business. So,
Yeah.
Anna, tell us in brief what you do.
Well, I'm a social media mentor. What that means is I'm a person who's been in social media long enough to be able to help others
Hmm.
achieve their goals in social media, basically. So I've been a social media manager for over 10 years now. So managing other people's companies, business owners, social networks for them. And then now I'm mentoring those entrepreneurs, business owners, how to manage their own social media, their business social media. This is something it's happening a lot more, especially with AI, which is our topic today.
Hmm.
And I realized that this is going to be going on, and it's a trend, and it's growing in that way that business owners are doing it DIY, they're doing it more themselves. So let's do it but in a more professional, sustainable way and learn how to do it the best way for you. Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's the
yeah.
idea.
And so when we talk about social media, just for anyone that's new to the subject, who isn't, but what sort of
Yeah.
platforms are most commonly used in social media?
Well, I mean, it all depends on the business, but in my case, my experience is so my expertise is Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Those are the three social networks I work on and the ones I teach about. I am not into TikTok. I do not like TikTok. I think it's a generational thing as well, but it's not for me. But of course, if someone comes across and they need TikTok, I do have people for that. YouTube, of course, it's growing a lot and it's very useful, but it all depends on the business and what are your goals, what do you want. So
Hmm.
not every business has to be niche on every network. Should be actually the opposite. You need to figure out where you should be.
All right. So you said Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. You dropped in YouTube there. Do you see YouTube as a social media platform or is it something else?
I think it's a mixture. It's a bit like LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a social network, more networking, looking for jobs, but it does have that social network aspect like Facebook does. So
Mm.
YouTube has a little bit like TikTok, that information, especially YouTube, you have a lot of information, courses, whatever you want.
Hmm.
But it also has that little bit of social network because there is comments and stuff. And if you're a YouTuber and you want to make a living out of it, that is part of the growing process. So people engaging and interacting, that's going to help your channel grow.
Mm-hmm. So I guess you're talking to business owners. Do you ever find them saying, I don't think I need to have any social media?
Less and less. I mean, I
Hmm.
do, occasionally there's people, obviously they don't come to me saying, I don't need social media, but I want social
Yeah,
media.
that's right.
You know, it does happen that way that a lot of people say, I know I need it, but I just can't be bothered. That sort of thing does happen. But people who are like, yeah, why do I want social media for? It depends again. It depends on the niche. It depends on the business. I've been the one to say to some people, listen, your business is okay. You have the client coming through the door constantly. Is a business that it's really going to go down.
Mm,
Why do you want social media so far?
mm,
If you're not gonna keep it, if you're not gonna maintain it, then you shouldn't be on social media. If you have social media and it's not representing and not coherent with you and your business, it's better that you are out of social media.
So,
That's the
so
most
what
important
does,
thing.
I guess then let's land that plane on the ground. What does social media actually do for a business?
Nowadays, how the organic reach is working and it's changing rapidly in the last 2 years, it's been changing a lot. Social media nowadays is like your menu in a restaurant or your portfolio in a photography shop or if you're an estate agent, you have all those pictures of the houses. That is what social media is to businesses today, and that's how we should treat it.
Oh,
I always say it's not a magical one. It's a tool. So we
yes,
need to
yes.
learn how to use it. And today, social media is more for positioning. And a lot of people come to me saying, I want people to find me when they look for me. But when they do look for me and they find me, to see a coherent information,
Mm,
image, whatever it is. So that's what it is really. It's positioning is also validation. It's for people who find you through an ads, for example. The first thing they're going to do is go to your social media networks. They're going to go to your
mm,
profile and they're going to go, there's nothing there, or whatever it is from 2 or 3 years ago. They're going to go, they're not going to trust. It's like those reviews on TripAdvisor, for example. You go through
mm,
those when you
mm.
want to buy, do you want to rent a hotel or flight, whatever it is. We always look for some type of, information that's going to give us more to trust more.
Right,
So
right,
that's
right.
basically what it is.
Yeah, so I mean, just to summarize that, so we've got the idea of a menu. In other words, it's It's what you offer. It's establishing an easy way for someone to see and understand that, and to see the history of that, and then also to the trust element, the credibility. Okay, yeah, I'm going to go ahead. So, do people? Is it now enough to rely on that, what we just mentioned, and then someone goes and buys, or is there still something else that's needed to close a deal?
100%. That's not enough anymore. And
Mm,
it's not been enough for some time. And this is what I always say. You need to, so the way algorithms work, especially Instagram, is they're more, the people stay in your picture or your post or your profile, the better it is for you. But we forget that we need to send them somewhere to do something. Because at the end of the day, you're a business trying to sell something, a service or a product. So you need to create a funnel. You need to create that system in which in every step that potential client is going to do something.
mm.
Whether that is a WhatsApp message or you're sending them to a landing page where they're going to click on some form and whatever it is, but there needs to be something. You cannot rely just on posting and some advertising, occasionally. Again, some businesses do have that they just post and it works, but that is less and less common every time, every day. Yeah.
Right. So that's a new concept, is advertising. So do you see that people need to advertise as well as post content, or can they just get away with content?
Again, it depends on the niche, it depends on the business, and depends on your objectives. If you are there to sell, whatever that is, service or product, you most likely going to have some type of advertising. Yes.
Mm, mm,
And we see every day that even with the organic, you want to help the growth of your community. You want to help the growth of the engagement, so the likes, the comments, all that. And sometimes now you do need to add a little bit of money. Sometimes it's nothing. Like I do 24 hours promo for €3, which is nothing, but it does
wow.
help the engagement a lot. And that is also helping the algorithm. So it's very common. Before in the past, it would be, ooh, no, no, no. And now it's, you have to. Most of the time, you have to.
Wow.
So
Mm,
it's part of your business strategy. You need to think, okay, I need social media. And then eventually I'm going to have some sort of, advertisement, some sort of way to direct the people towards where you want them to do whatever you want them to do. I always say we need to attract them, keep them as much as possible for the algorithm, but then we have to take them out of Instagram or Facebook or whatever it is. We need to send them somewhere. And also, it is very important to understand that whatever it is they're doing afterwards, at the end of the day, who's doing the selling is you. And that is through personal contact. That is the only way we sell. It's by on the phone or online meeting or in-person meeting, whatever it is. You are the one selling your product and your service.
yeah, yeah. Well, that's very interesting. That's a great landscape. So, to summarize your business, maybe tell us about the model clients, the type of clients that you particularly like to have. What are they like? An avatar for them.
Well, most of them are people who have been working with their social media networks for at least 1 year and they're
Hmm.
struggling. Some of
Hmm.
them enjoy it, even they struggle. But the most important thing is that they have been doing it for some time because
Hmm.
they know what it is like. They understand and they actually value whatever is help is coming their way. They're going to be very appreciative of it. So they are actually looking for that. What they are looking for is someone who's going to guide them through the right, you know, um, hurdles, give them the right tips, give them the right directions, but also allow them to be themselves more and more. And also, I've realized that a lot of the issues, most of these people, business owners, entrepreneurs, whatever they are, how long they've been in the business, they don't have, and they can be very, very organized in their business, but in social media, they don't have strategy for example, that is out of the window, but
Hmm.
organization skills. They do not have the system which helps them organize and make the most of their time. And I like to say that I'm going to teach you that, and then you're going to focus in what's really important, which is your business. You're not working for Instagram or Facebook. This is just a tool. This is just a communication parts system. So that is the idea. People who already doing it, they want to keep doing it, but they want to make it, they want to master it. That would be
Yeah,
the right
yeah.
word.
Are you getting people from all over the world?
I'm getting mainly from Spain for now, but
Hmm.
actually I do have some interesting people coming. There's some people around from India. So there's
Yes,
there's
yes.
interest coming from different places, which is quite surprising to me because India, for instance, in terms of social media, they're very, high up in social media community managers and that. And yeah, I think it's very interesting that I'm getting some,
All
people
right.
wanting to know more about it.
Excellent. So, Anna, that's great. Let's segue into the theme of things, which is on everyone's lips at the moment, and that's AI. What have you seen in your world which has changed most recently? Have you seen something occurring? Is there a change in direction now? It's such an inflection point. What are you seeing
It
going on?
is.
Yeah.
Well, what I see, and actually I'm quite surprised. I was at lunch with my niece's friend. She's actually studying marketing here in Madrid, and they are teaching them how to use the AI. And I was like, this is good because, it's not easy that universities adapt so easily to something so new and so changing, that changes so much. So that is one thing that I realized, that it's becoming very common, of course, but also the implementation of it is becoming easier. And there's a lot of information and courses and things you can do to learn how to do it in a more professional way. And I think it's the new trend. Like yesterday, there was an event in Madrid about AI, and there were YouTubers and photocall, all these things. But I think it has a long way to go in many different departments. But I think again, it's all depending on how you use it. It's a
Mhm.
tool,
Yeah. So
and that's what it is.
one of the tools that comes immediately to mind is the ability to create content. Lots and lots of content. There's many tools out there that can take your face and create videos that say things that you don't even need to understand, and that can be posted as content. You can create articles, which you can create as blogs. I mean, I heard a statistic that 50% of the comments that are created are created by bots, which is AI generated content.
Hmm.
What's your thoughts about using AI for generating content?
In general, or just in
Yeah.
comments? In general.
Yeah, well, let's start in general and we can go to comments. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I use it. For example, I'm one to when, ChatGPT came out, and I was the typical, yeah, nah, this is not gonna last. I
Hmm.
was very apprehensive.
Yes.
I must admit it. And but I never was one of those that when it gradually grew, I never thought, oh, yes, of course, some businesses or jobs are going to disappear, but those are the jobs that, they're no longer adapting to the new systems. But I think it's very useful. I think for us, in my world, if you learn how to use it, in my case, it's boom, it's
Right.
mind blowing. It's helping me a lot. I
Mm-hmm.
think we need to learn how to use it. I think we need to learn how not to abuse it. That
Right.
is very important. And for people who don't know how to use it, they need to be very aware that posting whatever you get from ChatGPT or any other AI directly, it doesn't always work.
Yes.
So, especially nowadays in my job in social media, in which humanizing the brand is the new trend as well. So we need to be very
Mm.
aware. So you need to teach your AI how you are, who you are, how you speak, how you write, how you whatever. In terms of video and pictures and photography, I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah.
But we need to be careful because sometimes it's very confusing. That is it this real? Is not real? Depends on the content. We also need to be, I think we need to be very critical. I don't know how to say it. We need to be very aware of what we see and
Mhm.
not believe straight away what we see.
Right.
You need
Yeah.
to filter a little bit the information. But yeah, I think it's very useful.
Yeah, these tools are notorious for what they call hallucinations, aren't they? Where you put in a question or a request or a prompt, and
Yeah.
then it spits back a story at you, and inside there,
Yeah.
there's facts. And this has happened to me multiple times.
Mm.
What I always do, and I encourage my team to do as well, is to use the tools, but make sure you insert your, as I say, insert your brain in there, and make sure that
Yeah.
everything that is there you can stand behind, and that you know. And it's interesting. I mean, we can talk about generations. Just to segue real briefly, got a very young team, Gen Zs predominantly. There's a lot of
Mm.
things that when you get to sort of my age, inherently that something's right and wrong. They're not picking up on a lot of that,
Mm.
so they can often be misled very, very easily by what they read on ChatGPT. Whereas I and people of my generation just know straight away that it's wrong, and I can rule it out. I can rule things in and out really quickly. Um, so that was an
Yeah.
observation that I made, that we sort of feel that the younger generation are always taking over, and I'm seeing now with AI that the older generation are able to add value
Mm.
with their experience.
I agree. And that's what I mean, that don't believe everything you see or whatever the ChatGPT. And I have an example when I started, I used it testing. I always try in the beginning those things to test, and I want to make my own decisions about whatever is coming out first. And I tested with a client, and it was some information. He's an audiologist, so hearing aids for people who's losing hearing, and he
Hmm.
prepares the hearing aids. And I was doing a post about famous people who have tinnitus, which is those click, click,
I
click
know them.
sounds on your ears.
Yeah, yeah,
And I got Barbara Streisand was wearing a cochlear, which is one of those implants that goes straight to your head.
yeah.
I thought, that doesn't sound right. There was something there.
Mm.
And I investigated and investigated. There was nothing about it. Nothing. I was like, okay, ChatGPT, this was in the beginning. Now, again, we have to say it's changed a lot, it's developed a lot, and there's a lot more trustworthy information. But when you're doing what I do for people, especially when I manage social media, I need to be them.
Mm.
There cannot be any difference between me or them, and people who follow them, they need to feel they are following the same person, or the base person writing is that person. So I need to teach the AI their tone, their comments, the way they joke, the way they would express this and that, and that is something I have to do. And this is
Right.
from me because I know my clients. That's not, ChatGPT is not going to give me that by just posting a social media, showing them a post or a website. I have to educate AI in
That's
that
very
sense.
interesting. I love that too. I just love the blend of the human and the AI, which you just brought so
Exactly.
nicely in. And I'm a big proponent of that. We don't believe that AI can sweep people's jobs aside. I believe we can take some of the tedium out of work and also give more value to each employee. And one example of that would be using tools like Claude and these other software development tools
Mm,
that are out, like Copilot and so on.
yep.
They say, that you can get one person to do 10 times as much work. Well, that may be true, it may be not true, but still the important thing is that there was one person still there who now does
Exactly.
a lot more value. But when you look at when I try to think about that as a project, all of a sudden I got a project where maybe half of the cost was in the coding. Now
Yep.
it's a quarter of the cost because there's still the other components, which are, lead generation, understanding the client's needs, managing the client relationship. That's all people. It's still all people. And that
Mm.
doesn't go away with AI.
I mean, I could give you an example in my personal experience, which is every time I work with a client, the first part is analyzing their business in social media, not just their business, but the competitor. So We need to find out and figure out the niche. How is it performing? If there's a way to get through the gate, I call it the open or half open door in which,
Hmm.
everything is there already. But let's see if there's something that people are not exactly doing, something different. And that in the past would take me around 2 to 3 weeks because I would do it on my own. There's a lot of investigating, there's a lot of analyzing. And then I would do the strategy, which would take me around 4 to 5 days.
Yeah.
Now with AI, and because I have been training my AI to how I do it, it takes me the analysis, which is it used to be 2 or 3 weeks. Now it takes me 4, 6 hours.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I am optimizing my time for my clients. I would say to them, listen, the first month I'm not going to post because I have to do this job. Now I can start posting pretty much from the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that is also for them, it's, oh, okay, I'm already paying the month, but this is already included, which it was, but it doesn't take that much time. And for me, what it does is also it's easier, but I can go further in a lot further in terms of information, investigation. It's deeper.
Mm.
And also
Yeah.
now I know how to find information. So again, I've trained my AI and now it's like, oh, I'm getting all this information. So it's even more information that I'm getting. So for me, this is one of the most amazing things I've achieved with AI. So thank you.
So Annie, so you're going from Anna to Super Anna, is that right? Am I getting that?
Yeah, yeah.
So, any tips for people obviously coming to you and getting your help and advice? But what are some tips we could give our audience about using AI for social media?
The most important one for me is make sure that your question, it's not a very broad question. So you
Mhm.
have to give information. Also find which is the tool, the right one for whatever it is you want to do. So for example, if you want to find information, which a lot of people do, you use ChatGPT for random information, like we've been using Google forever. So now they
Hmm.
use ChatGPT to say, okay, so what does this mean? Or how do you do this? That's fine. But you have other tools for that.
Mm.
But I'm going to give you another example. I was talking to a friend and she had this business idea and she went to ChatGPT and she asked the business idea and she said to me, I just have this feeling that ChatGPT is willing to agree with me with whatever it is and everything's going to be a good idea. And I said, well, what did you ask? Did you ask, is this a good idea? As simple as that. And she said, well, yeah, more or less. And I said, well, you didn't give it any more information. It's a robot. It's not a person. So
Yeah.
what should I do? And I'm like, well, you need to give it information. What do you want? Well, I wanted to know if it's a good idea. Do you want to know if it's a good idea? Of this business idea has potential as a business. It's very different.
Right,
It's very
right.
different. From
Yeah.
the beginning, the question is, okay, so what should I say? So, well, you need to go and say, okay, I have this business idea and I want to know how the potential it has, how can I achieve it, so on. So that for me is the basic of AI. Make sure that whatever the question is, it's not just about the question, it's what you want to achieve from the answer.
Oh, okay. Good, good, good.
Okay, so
So,
focus on what is it that you want to achieve.
right, right. So focus on what you want to achieve. Implied in there is perhaps some context, that maybe when you're
Absolutely.
prompting, you're giving some context about, oh, well, there's this. I might start one of mine with, oh, I've got a client that's got this problem. They're in
Yep.
Australia, I'm over here. We're going to do automation, blah, 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 and then continue on. So, yeah, I think
Yeah.
there's a little bit of effort needs in that. I was see in Bahrain. It's a quick segue in Dubai with one of our mutual friends, Jatish. And
Yeah.
we found out, I was reading the paper, that they planned over the next 12 months to educate 1 million
Mm.
prompt engineers, they called them. Prompt engineers. So these are people that would be trained on using ChatGPT and those types of tools. They called it prompt engineering. I subsequently learned that a lot of that is really understanding the English language very well because these models are built on the English language. I mean, maybe in future
mm,
they'll be able to, you know, sort of bring the other languages in. Um,
mm.
but yeah, being able to express yourself in English and interpret well in English was a key part of that. So although it sounds impressive to have 1 million people learning prompt engineering, a big slab of that was really just mastering language and the English
Yeah.
language well.
I mean, I use it mainly in Spanish, and so far, so good. I do use
Mhm.
it in English for some clients, but the truth is that I mean, I agree, and I think I'm becoming an engineer, a prompt engineer, because
Yes.
preparing what I've been preparing for all these analysis and the strategy that I was telling you about, I took some prompts that I found somewhere and I made it my own. So I
Oh, right.
perfection those prompts for what I need and again the outcome I'm looking for. So I'm very, very, very specific. I'm very, yeah, I could say exigent in what I'm looking for. But yes, at the end of the day, it's all about the prompt and context and language, of course, understanding. And sometimes, and I do have this, love-hate relationship with it, but I
Yes.
love it. Sometimes I go, "Who asked you for this? I didn't ask you for this. What is this? Oh, I'm so sorry." And you see people like, "Please, could you give me?" I say, "I'm not that polite with my AI. I just go, give me this."
Yeah. I mean, there's a new emerging business where people are
Yeah,
creating prompts in a set of
yeah.
sequences that guides someone through. Let's say you want to put together a marketing plan or a social media plan,
Mm,
even,
mm.
where you would say, "Well, use this prompt, use this prompt, use this prompt." But there'll be obviously contextual pieces that need to be added in by the client, and then they go through, and then they get the AI to do all that work based on that flow of the prompts. Have you tried anything like that?
Absolutely. That's
Hmm.
exactly what I've done. So I took a sequence of prompts from someone. I actually copied them. Screen copy, Google, take the text, and I then used it on my first test for one client. And then what I've done is, so I was using ChatGPT.
Hmm.
At the same time, I was using Google AI, but
Hmm.
Studio Core. I'm using the programmer's application because
Yep.
I like it a lot more.
Hmm.
And then I was testing also the response, how they were both of them, each of them performing. And then what I did is once I had the results or accurate source results to what I wanted, I went and I said, okay, now I want you from this information to give me a prompt
Hmm.
and create the prompt. So I used the prompt to create the strategy. And then once I had that, now we create my own prompt because I already give you the input,
Yes.
my personal look, the way I work. And now you're going to create a prompt for me.
Wow. We've gone beyond super Anna. We're now into hyper Anna space, I think. Yes. All right.
Yeah.
So, any other tips that we could give out to our audience about tools to use? We talked about prompt engineering. Talked a lot about, I guess, ChatGPT. Maybe there's something else a little bit further away from that you've been working on.
So I've been trying also image AI, but when I start trying and testing these tools, I
Yeah.
go for free options. So
Yeah.
I do
Yeah.
that.
Mm,
Before you engage with paying something, just try and test whatever you need. So
mm,
I've been using a lot of that. But after testing ChatGPT and Google AI, I go more for Google AI and again, it all depends on what you're looking for
mm,
because I think it's more professional, the response I get from Google AI than I
mm,
get from ChatGPT. What I do like about ChatGPT is that has that memory of what you've
mm.
been doing. So
Yeah.
it already comes back to me saying, would you like this same content in this tone and this other tone, which I
Yeah.
have given? But I found a way with Google AI to do the same. It doesn't give me tones, but it does help me not repeating everything constantly. Also, we've talked about how important it is to give context,
Mm,
how important it is to make sure that the information you're getting from it is accurate. But I also think, from my perspective, from my experience in social media, be careful not to copy post. You need to be very careful of that. And it's not that the algorithms can detect as people think. This is a myth. But it does. I've seen posts of people that they did copy post straight away. They probably didn't read the whole thing, and it said, "Here is where you insert your link." So, just pay attention.
yes, yes.
Just pay attention. And
Yeah,
again, investigate, study, test. Don't just go and, go crazy with it.
yeah, yeah,
Um, yeah, I think that's about it, really. Just make sure you're doing the right questions.
yeah. Well, it sounds like Anna, you've really been exploring AI and adapting
Yeah.
to AI and keeping yourself in the loop. And I think that's a shout out to you. And just like any business person, they need to keep their eye on the frontier and what's happening. And AI is such a big thing. Let's answer the question then. For you, is AI hype or help?
Help. For sure,
Yeah.
100%, 100% help. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, it's actually been, again, mind blowing, a huge help. So, of course, yes, I could have a community manager helping me, and that is the idea and that's the plan.
Mm.
But I also wanted to learn, and again, this is not another tip. Learn first, especially if you're going to use it in your business. Learn yourself first and then delegate. Because if you don't know what's going on, you cannot trust whatever this person, as you were saying, maybe they're younger, they don't know, they don't have your knowledge. So it's 100% help
Yeah.
in every way.
Well, thank you, Anna. Before we wrap up, is there any questions or comments that you'd like to add?
No, I think we've covered everything pretty well in terms
Yeah.
of, AI, and I think yeah, yeah, we covered everything.
All right, Anna. Well, this is great. We see each other each week, so I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining the podcast, and I'll see you
Thank
soon.
you for having me. It was fun.
Well, that was a great rundown of AI and social media with Anna. What we learnt was how Anna uses it, ChatGPT and Gemini, and which ones she uses in different situations, the importance of prompting, the importance of context, and also we dabbled into some of these ways you can get templates to help you with your prompt engineering to help you go further with your use of the AI tools. Certainly, she talked about how it's improved her efficiency. She can get work that would take weeks down to hours with certain tools that she uses, and she can even go deeper in some cases. But she also alluded to how important it is to stay in the loop, to keep using your brain to keep on top of what AI is saying and making sure that everything that's created is authentic and you. And she even talked a little bit about how she stylizes things for her clients and for herself so that they are consistent. So, not letting AI get ahead of us, but staying very much in the loop. Well, if you want to get in touch with Anna, please follow the links in the description. If you want to get in touch with me or my team, please do so. Also, the links in the description. If you could subscribe to the channel, that would really help us. And I hope that helps. And thanks for watching.